Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. Well, this week we're going to continue with our discussion of the $20,000 system. So if you missed last week's episode, I'm doing a series on a theoretical $20,000 system. Now, that's not an exact science, of course, because things are used and these are vintage items and they vary quite a bit in valuation. But I thought it would be kind of an interesting exercise to see if we had a budget of $20,000, what kinds of system components might we put together to get around that sort of price point, that sort of valuation. So I put together a theoretical system of my own here with my own collection. And so I'm going to break it out each week and focus on one specific area. And either that's going to be within for speakers or for receivers, the reel-to-reel, a turntable, and a cassette deck. So in my system, for speakers, I'm currently having here some Pioneer TZ9s. This is the piano black version. For a receiver, I'm using a Marantz 2500. On the reel-to-reel side, which I covered last week actually, it's a Technics 1506. For turntables, I've left my Denon in place, but I have some other examples that I'll show you that are in my collection. And lastly, cassette decks. I've got my Nakamichi Dragon in place here, which is one of the brands that was most well known for cassettes. So as you can imagine, the price ranges are quite broad. Most of these items, I think most of these that are falling into my list will probably start around $1,500, which of course, if you bought every piece, would be well under $20,000 for our budget. However, many of them go well beyond, say, $5,000 or $7,000, so you could break that budget if you were to put a complete system together. So there's a lot of ranges in here, but theoretically, you should be able to put this system together for most likely, if you bought well, for every piece, well under 20K, but we're just sort of putting that theoretical number out there as a total valuation. So with that said, let's talk about turntables. So upcoming are 5 examples of turntables that I'm putting into this theoretical list of turntables that could be in this system. Now, mind you, none of these are referencing that one is better than the other. All of them are very great turntables and they will all do a great job for you. It's a bit of personal preference, both on aesthetic and how they perform. It's all up to you, but these all range from around $1,500 and up. So I'm going to show you some of those valuations as I talk through each one of them and give you a little bit of history, but believe me, there are plenty more turntables out there that could be on this list. So it's not a definite list of only the top 5 of anything. It's just 5 suggested examples of our theoretical system. First up, a titan from the end of the analog era, the Pioneer PL90. Manufactured from 1990 to 1994, the PL90 was one of the last truly great turntables to come out of Japan, a final statement piece from Pioneer. Known in its home market as the PL7L, this turntable was designed for the audio purist. It's a beast weighing in at a hefty 17 kilograms, or about 37 pounds, thanks to its rock-solid construction and a quartz PLL DC servo motor that provides unwavering rotational stability. The real star of the show here is the tone arm. It's made from alumina ceramics, a material that's incredibly light and rigid, perfect for accurately tracking the grooves of a record. But alumina on its own is prone to resonance, which can color the sound. Pioneer's brilliant solution? DRA, Dynamic Resonance Absorber. This is a complex resonator fitted to the tone arm that cancels out unwanted vibrations, ensuring the cartridge picks up the pure musical information from the record. Paired with a good cartridge, the PL90 delivers a sound that is crystal clear, with deep, authoritative bass and surgically precise highs. With its minimalist features, the PL90 is all about performance, extracting every last detail from your vinyl. Next, we have a turntable that looks like it's straight out of a science fiction film. This is the Bang & Olufsen 4002 and 4004. These were produced from 1974 to 1981. They were a marvel of design and engineering, truly ahead of their time. The most striking feature is the tangential tracking tone arm. Instead of pivoting in an arc like a traditional tone arm, it moves in a straight line across the record, just like the cutting lathe that originally made it. This completely eliminates tracking error and skating force, allowing for incredibly accurate playback. This series is also a masterpiece of automation. A second, parallel arm uses a photocell to detect the size of the record and automatically set the correct speed. Just place the record on the platter, press start, and the turntable does the rest. It's so smart that if you press start with no record, the arm won't lower, protecting your delicate stylus. Speaking of which, it was often paired with the B&O's excellent MMC series cartridges, which were designed to be incredibly gentle on your records. The sound is known for being remarkably clean and precise. It's no wonder B&O themselves recently reacquired and restored a limited number of these iconic tables. Now let's look at a turntable that perfectly embodies the classic 1970s hi-fi aesthetic, the Marantz 6300. Manufactured between 1976 and 1978, the Marantz 6300 is a visual masterpiece. With its walnut veneer, brushed metal faceplate, and classic Marantz front, it's a stunning piece of equipment that just screams vintage cool. But it's not just about looks. The 6300 is a servo-controlled direct drive turntable that offers reliable performance and great sound. While not considered a high-end audiophile deck, the 6300 is a solid performer with features like a stroboscope for precise speed control, anti-skating, and a photoelectronic auto shutoff that lifts the tone arm at the end of the record. The tone arm itself is a precision instrument mounted on gimbal bearings. Today, the Marantz 6300 is highly prized by collectors, not only for its performance, but as the perfect centerpiece to complete a classic all-Marantz or vintage audio system. It represents a time when Marantz was at the peak of its powers, creating equipment that was big, heavy, shiny, and built to last. Now we're going to go back in time and talk about two of the most iconic and revered turntables ever made. The Gerard 301 and 401. The 301 was introduced in 1953 and produced until 1965. It was a true transcription quality turntable, built like a tank with a massive motor, a superb die-cast chassis and platter, and a high-quality idler drive system. This idler wheel mechanism gives the 301 a unique, powerful sound that fans absolutely love. In 1965, the 401 was introduced and was manufactured until 1976. While sonically superior by some accounts, with a stronger eddy current brake and other refinements, it was more of an evolution than a revolution. Both models were typically sold as just the motor unit, allowing buyers to choose their own plinth, tone arm, and cartridge. This has led to a thriving community of enthusiasts who restore and customize these turntables to an incredible degree. Last but certainly not least, we have another legend from the same era, the Thorins TD124. Manufactured from 1957 to 1968, the Thorins TD124 is a masterpiece of Swiss precision engineering. Like the Gerard, it's built like a tank with a heavy platter and a robust motor unit. The TD124 features a unique drive system that combines a belt drive with an idler wheel, giving it a powerful and stable rotation. It offers 4 speeds, including 16 and 78 RPM, making it incredibly versatile. The TD124 was a favorite in broadcast studios and among serious audiophiles who would pair it with the best tone arms and cartridges of the day. The sound is celebrated for its wonderful musicality and presence. Even today, Over 50 years after its introduction, the TD124 remains a benchmark for high-end analog playback with a dedicated global following. So I'm sure you noticed all of those cool Gerard and Thorins turntables that I represented here. Those are not sort of the typical tables you're going to find for sale at most places. I reached out to Chris over at Woodong Audio, and he's a specialist in rebuilding those tables, as you can tell. They're not from the normal price range that I was showing. If you want one of those tables, you need to call Chris. Those tables are highly customized. And Chris is an expert. He's been doing this since 2004. If you send him your table, he will disassemble it down to the last screw and rebuild it better than new. He's got some awesome high quality plinths, and he offers tone arms and cartridges and all sorts of other things. So if you really want to take your table up to the next level and to compete with current modern tables, get in touch with Chris over at Woodong Audio. You can tell by these pictures, he's a guy that's pretty passionate about what he's doing over there. So there you have it. Quite a cool list. I think you could argue that any of those are certainly worthy of being on the list. Now, they have quite a different perspective for each of them, pluses and minuses. Some will love the B&O version of a 4002 or 4004 or any of the other B&O models. Others may be brand specific and love Pioneer models over others. The same for Marantz. There's a huge fan base for the Marantz 6300. But those custom turntables, wow. I mean, aren't they just awesome? You could certainly break the bank in a way of busting, I'll say budget buster for some of those models. But it shows how far you can really go if you want to focus on a truly custom piece of art and what you can do with those. Basically, it's a completely rebuilt turntable from top to bottom, and you're essentially getting something that's a one-of-a-kind and a high-performing turntable all at one time. So you certainly, invest a lot, but you'll certainly get a lot out of it as well. And that's a little bit of a difference between, I'll say, the transcription turntables versus the Pioneers, the brand-specific models. Not so much customization lends itself to the brand models as much as the transcription tables, because you can put those into custom cabinets and swap your tone arms around. Not something you can easily do with models like the Morance, let's say. So I hope you enjoyed that. If you don't want to miss out on the next video, hit subscribe. If you want to become a member, take a look at stereoniche.com. It's our membership site, and if you want to support the channel, it's certainly a great way to do that. We go into more discussions over there, and it's where I spend most of my time. So if you'd like to reach out to me directly, that would be a great way to do it. As always, thank you guys so much for tuning in. We'll see you next time.